There are more than 1,000,000 black bears in Alaska, making it the state with the highest bear density in all of North America. The increased number of bears, while beneficial to the ecology, also results in an increase in the number of contacts with humans. As a result, the government of the United States permitted farmers to utilize hunting as a means of resolving this issue. Nevertheless, is this approach truly risk-free and within the law? Let's have a look at the video below to learn how American farmers manage the millions of huge bears that they encounter with their hunting dogs. In Alaska, bear hunting became required as a result of the significant damage that bears produced when they were searching for food. Residential areas are frequently invaded by black bears and grizzly bears, which then proceed to destroy property. There were 125 bear assaults on homes in Alaska in 2010, which resulted in damages totaling more than $100,000. A great number of people are compelled to relocate or take defensive measures in order to safeguard their families as a result of these tragedies, which not only have an effect on the economy, but also pose a threat to human safety. Bears, in addition to causing significant harm to residential areas, are also responsible for significant damage to agriculture. They are known to kill cattle, destroy beehives, and tramp on crops. When a single bear is responsible for the destruction of an entire harvest in a single night, it places farmers in a precarious position. In addition, bears have an impact on the commercial hunting and fishing business because they interfere with the process of fish exploitation and stealing bait, which in turn makes people's lives more challenging. It is possible for bears that weigh an average of 600 pounds to attack without any prior notice in the wilds of Alaska. Maintaining composure and not fleeing from a confrontation is essential for improving one's ability to defend oneself. When confronted with potentially hazardous circumstances, hunters frequently make use of bear spray. The significant amount of risk that is associated with approaching this animal is reflected in the fact that statistics show that at least 10% of encounters result in injuries. In an effort to reduce the number of wild bears in the state of Alaska, the government has tightened the restrictions that govern hunting licenses. Prior to the year 2010, there were only approximately 750 licensed hunters, which rendered management ineffectual. In response to the growing number of bears, the authorities increased the number of hunting sites and increased the requirements for training. The number of licensed hunters reached 5,000 by the year 2015, which contributed to a considerable reduction in the frequency of bear assaults on bears, so lowering the risk of bears launching counterattacks themselves. What an unquestionable remedy! Take a look at the top of this guy's head. They frequently aim for vital regions, such as the heart or lungs, in order to guarantee that the shot will be effective. In addition to increasing the number of hunting ranges, the government mandates that professional hunters must first complete a minimum of 40 hours of mandatory theoretical and practical training before they can obtain a license. They are able to develop their skills in handling risky situations by participating in these necessary training sessions, which include learning how to successfully respond when unexpectedly confronted by a bear at a distance of 100 meters. By imposing hunting restrictions, the government of Alaska is able to manage the bear population without disrupting the natural equilibrium of the ecosystem. For instance, hunters in Fairbanks are only permitted to hunt a maximum of 3 black bears per day, and are required to report them in their entirety in order to prevent exceeding the permissible number of bears. Moreover, they are equipped with cutting-edge equipment, such as global positioning systems, GPS, to assist them in locating bears and ensuring their safety when entering deep forest. There is a correlation between the combination of stringent regulations, extensive training, and technical equipment, which helps enhance control efficiency while simultaneously conserving the ecology. Hunters in Alaska frequently make use of hunting dogs in order to securely track and control bears. This is done in order to boost the efficiency of bear hunting in the state. It is possible for each hunt to mobilize anywhere from 3 to 5 dogs to track and trap black bears on trees while they are attempting to flee. This makes it easier for hunters to observe and make decisions. There are many dog breeds that are favored due to their endurance, excellent sense of smell, and bravery in the face of enormous predators. Some examples of these breeds include the Hound and the Killian Bear Dog. Because of the close synchronization that exists between the hunter and the dog, the hunting process is carried out more efficiently, while also reducing the threats that are posed to humans. The use of hunting dogs, on the other hand, presents its own unique set of difficulties. Dogs require a minimum of 6 months of training in order to be prepared to deal with dangerous creatures such as bears, whereas hunters need to go through more than 2 years of extensive training in order to be able to operate effectively with bears. Animal rights advocates are concerned about the stress that hunting dogs and bears are subjected to, despite the fact that this strategy decreases the hazards that hunters face and boosts the success rates of their hunts. In addition to firearms, crossbows are also utilized in the process of bear hunting, particularly in regions that demand complete stillness. The use of crossbows, which do not produce as much noise as firearms, enables hunters to approach their target without causing it to chase away. Crossbows of the modern era, such as compound crossbows, are equipped with powerful shooting power, high penetration, and optical sight systems, which are sufficient to destroy bear weapons. On the other hand, hunting with a crossbow involves a great level of skill in adjusting the shooting angle, selecting the appropriate arrow, and approaching the target. Once again, despite the fact that it is more challenging to use than firearms, this approach is nevertheless preferred by a significant number of hunters due to the fact that it requires a combination of technique, patience, and traditional hunting art. The annual number of bear attacks on people's homes has dramatically dropped, going from 130 to 80. This is a direct result of the successful wildlife management program that has been implemented. Lawful hunting activities not only help farmers avoid financial losses, but they also bring in cash from hunting fees, tourism, and the sale of lawful products, all of which contribute to the growth of the local economy. Despite the fact that hunting has always been a contentious issue, population control is very necessary in regions such as Alaska, where humans coexist with enormous animals. In particular, the utilization of hunting dogs has contributed to an increase in the efficiency of bear hunting procedures. Nevertheless, it is of the utmost importance to combine these management approaches with conservation efforts in order to save the ecosystem and guarantee the safety of the general public. As I said above, the story of bear hunting in Alaska is deeply rooted in its history. In earlier times, bears were revered by indigenous communities and even seen as sacred spirits. However, with the expansion of settlements and agriculture, their image gradually shifted from symbolic creatures to serious threats. Over the decades, the role of farmers evolved. They are no longer just cultivators of the land, but also active defenders of their territory, often relying on hunting practices passed down through generations to protect their families and livelihoods. Alongside historical changes, the psychological pressure on farmers living in bear-prone areas is immense. Imagine waking up every morning knowing a 272-kilogram predator could be lurking nearby. Many farmers suffer from sleep disorders, and children are often kept indoors for safety. Some even build electric fences around their homes, not just for livestock, but for themselves. The mental toll of coexisting with such powerful animals adds another layer of complexity to rural life in Alaska. In response to these dangers, modern technologies are playing a more significant role in bear management. Farmers and wildlife officials are now using drones equipped with thermal cameras to detect bears at night, motion sensors to alert when a bear approaches, and sound deterrent systems that emit high-pitched noises to scare them off. These innovations allow for a less violent approach, reducing the need for lethal force while enhancing human safety. Nevertheless, bear hunting remains a valuable source of income in many communities. Legal hunting brings revenue through the sale of bear hides, meat, and teeth, items often turned into souvenirs or sold as part of the game meat market. Furthermore, guided bear hunts for tourists generate substantial profits. Hunters from across the world pay thousands of dollars for a chance to track a bear in the wilds of Alaska, contributing to the local economy and supporting small businesses. Interestingly, Alaska is not the only place that deals with aggressive bear populations. Canada and Russia also face similar challenges, but their approaches differ. In Canada, there's a stronger emphasis on relocation and non-lethal control, while in Russia, hunting is far more restricted with stricter wildlife conservation laws. This international comparison highlights the unique balance Alaska tries to strike between preserving the ecosystem and protecting its people. Still, strict regulations don't eliminate the risk of illegal hunting. If farmers or hunters break rules like hunting during a prohibited season or killing too many bears, they can face hefty fines, weapon confiscation, or even imprisonment. These legal consequences are part of a broader system to ensure bear populations are not decimated and that hunting remains a sustainable practice. Moreover, uncontrolled bear populations can cause long-term ecological damage. Bears are apex predators. When their numbers swell, they disrupt the natural balance by overhunting smaller species, consuming large amounts of salmon, and damaging bee populations by raiding hives. Such ripple effects can eventually destabilize entire ecosystems, threatening not just farmers but wildlife diversity as a whole. Throughout the years, Alaska has seen several high-profile bear attacks that shocked the public. From surveillance videos capturing bears breaking into homes to chilling survival stories of hikers mauled in the wilderness, these incidents often make national headlines. Each one fuels the ongoing debate between animal protection advocates and those who believe in stricter control measures. Animal rights organizations continue to monitor the use of hunting dogs, advocating for more humane training methods and stricter limitations. Some argue that dogs should be used only for tracking, not attacking, to reduce trauma to both bears and dogs. In response, some training schools now incorporate animal behavior science to prepare dogs more ethically and efficiently, reflecting a shift in how humans manage predator-prey relationships. Looking forward, the future of bear control in Alaska may rely more on coexistence than conflict. Conservationists and farmers are beginning to collaborate, exploring habitat zoning, food deterrent programs, and education campaigns. If humans can better predict bear behavior and adapt land use practices, it may be possible to reduce encounters altogether. The challenge lies in balancing ecological integrity with human safety, an evolving story that continues to shape life in the northernmost parts of America.